Hello, my name is 102 Sniper. Some of you might know me as Friendly. I'm going to be reviewing a Imbattable VOD on, what's the name of this map? Outpost. I thought it was a pretty interesting VOD because it wasn't perfectly played, but it still had a decent result. So there was some things I did right and some things I did incorrectly, which I think are important to point out. So what I think of the Imbattable is it's pretty similar to a 50B. The only difference is really is like it's just got everything you'd imagine from it going up a tier, and you can't hull bait with it, which sort of sucks. But I guess it trades that for having that sort of interesting round mechanic that can be pretty handy, get you an extra shot sometimes. Anyway, we'll get into the video. So we're playing on Outpost. I spawn in and start looking at the team comp. They've got double auto reloading artillery, and they've got a platoon of IS-7s and 260s, so I'm usually expecting them to do something erratic. I sort of thought maybe the IS-7s were shielding for the 260, or maybe it's just like a YOLO platoon. Maybe they might YOLO down this side of the map or something. Well, they could just YOLO anyway. That's usually what these platoons do. And they've got a couple TDs. Three real TDs and then one Minotaur, which is pretty much a heavy tank. I think the Imbattable is a good tier 11, but I don't think it fits the meta. And I think the meta, or like, I'll explain to you how I understand what the tanks, or being good at randoms in general, really. I think being good in randoms is much more about farming players worse than you than it is about being able to beat players that are as good or better than you, because that's just what most players are when you become a super Unicum or a Unicum. It's a lot more about just being able to shoot people that are worse than you than being able to outplay people that are as good or better than you. And the issue with tanks like the Imbattable and the 50B is they're just not good at farming bad players. And the reason for that is because they don't have sustainable DPM. It's more about making plays. They don't have armor, so you can't sit in front of a bad player in a super heavy or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, the clip's nice, but it's not the DPM's not good enough, and that's why you'll see a lot of players do a lot better in the T57 for high-end DPGs than they will in the 50B, just because the DPM's a lot better. It's a lot better at trading against super heavies, gets the shots out faster, and it reloads much faster, which just results in a higher DPG for most. And that reflects in top players' DPGs, like Got You Baby's doing 6.7 upwards in most of his tier 11s, and he only did 6.2 in this, I believe. He says he likes it, and I agree. I do like this tank. It's nice to play, but the issue with it is it's not good at farming bad players, and I think that's what leads to lower DPGs for most. Anyway, we'll talk about what's happened here. Basically, the I-7 platoon has YOLO'd down this side of the map, so I've just responded to this by driving over here and sniping some shots. There's nothing wrong with me being this far back. I don't need to get closer. I can just trade my teammates' HP safely from a distance. And that's a good thing about tanks like this, the Imbattable and the 50B versus the T57. It's a bit better at shooting stuff at this range, which is nice. So we connect some shots here. Spoilers, that shot actually connects, and I get an extra shot of damage there. And now we're just going on a reload and reading the map, seeing what's happening. They're still pushing forward. I got 6 seconds on reload. I just know I can get a clip here because they're just pushing along. The M48 stops and starts reversing. He probably didn't notice me, and I get 3 shots into him, which is pretty nice. And this is the good thing about the Imbattable. I've got a shot left. I didn't even bother to have to reload, and I still have the shot that I could potentially shoot someone with. And I start rotating over towards the IS-7s. I actually don't have a very good DPG in this tank myself. It's only about 5,000. That's probably, I'm not trying to make excuses, but that's probably because I've been doing missions in it. That's a very unlucky shot. I've been doing the, what are they called? You know what I mean, the sniper and the support missions, whatever they're called, ambush missions in this tank, so my DPG is a little bit lower than some of my other tier 11s, but that's fine since this is my main account. When I feel like getting a higher DPG, I'll play it on my friendly fellow account. So this side's being cleaned off. I'm just rotating around. I got spotted back here, so I know that there's some guy up here. The Striv kind of spotted me, and everything else is spotted. So it could have only been the Hirschkampfer or the Leopard 1 if he'd made a rotation. So we're just rotating towards the middle to potentially get a shot on the Striv or the Hirschkampfer if they make a mistake. And the Hirschkampfer is getting pushed by a Batchat, and there's an M60 in mid, so he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to either run or play on the other side of this, which me rotating here means I can shoot him. I'm also just trying to be wary of the ship barn because I don't want to get one-tapped for 1.8k. This thing is pretty green for a ship barn, and we do catch the Hirschkampfer. We give him 1. Unfortunately, don't give him another. I think about crossing over here to put more pressure on him, but I know that the ship barn is somewhere here, and I just don't feel like eating 1.8k for no reason. Well, there's a reason, but it's just not worth the risk at all. I can just go on a reload and then reposition to try get out another clip. And so I start driving over to the heavies now, I believe. I see the contrivers up top. I think the FV, now that he's seeing this stuff, will most likely be looking towards this. It'd be nice to see if he gets spotted though. Leopard 1 gets spotted in the middle. I start just shooting his back and don't fully commit because I don't want him to turn around and double me. And he just like perfectly moves to not get shot by me, which is a bit annoying, and now he drives forward. Unfortunately, I eat 723 damage from that Batchatilian artillery because that thing pretty much is point and click. I finish off the E100 because whilst I'm sitting here, he's most likely to shoot me from the guys below. I actually make a bit of a misplay here. Since the mouse is one shot, I'm really scared of the Type 5, but this guy's got like a 14-second reload, I believe. And I've got 22 seconds, so if he killed the mouse, he'd still have to reload for another 14 seconds, and I've got 22 seconds. This guy's probably not going to die instantly, so I could probably just fight this guy straight away. And because I panic and think this guy's going to die and I'm still reloading, I eat a shot for 634, which to be honest I did not need to. I could have avoided taking that shot. I could have just sat up the top and waited, and I would have completely avoided eating that shot from the Type 5. and I wait for him to drive back so he doesn't spot me pushing up here, so he can't give me one for free, because he's just driving back. He's not going to re-peek this, right? So now I sneak in whilst unspotted. Get spotted last second by the Leo, but it's fine. We're safe now. He shoots, and I just go for the peek. That's an unfortunate bounce. Make sure to aim my shots now. I just want to connect all my shots. The artillery clicks me. I spot the Leo 1. I see his behind poking out. I should have known here when I got spotted that it wasn't the Leo 1 spotting me, because the spotting ports of a tank are at the base of their gun where it connects to the turret and on top of the roof, and both of those are covered by the rubble, which means that something else, most likely the FV from somewhere, was spotting me. Potentially, I don't know, it wouldn't have been up here because it's too close, but I don't know, somewhere over here he must have been spotting me from, so I should have reversed instead of kept on driving forward here, which was a pretty big mistake, and I could have just died here completely. But anyway, we get one shot into the Leo 1. Thank goodness he misses us, because we would have been back to the garage there with only 6k. And we give the FV1, and then we're just waiting for this guy to peek. I should have repaired my fuel tanks here as well, since I'm giving him my side. And because we don't repair our fuel tanks, we burn to death after killing the Leo 1, and that makes us miss out on maybe another 2k damage potentially, unfortunately. And that ended up being a 6.9k damage game. We made some alright plays, and then we also made some mistakes that I think are pretty important to learn from. And I think this is a pretty good example of Imbattable gameplay, and just this sort of archetype of tank in general. You're not really trying to be super close and brawly all the time, unless you can pick out one-on-one engagements like I was trying to do on the Contriver and the Type 5. And it's more about using your nice gun handling to sort of support your team, rather than brawling like many of the other tier 11 and 10 heavies do. Like a T57 is a lot different. It's similar, but it's slightly different in playstyle to this tank, because 50B I feel like is more about kiting your enemies, but the T57 is very often just direct trades with your enemies. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Imbattable gameplay, and thank you for watching the video.